This is Out Loud and Laughing.
What's up, chosen fam? We are back in the studio, and today the energy is high because we are joined by someone who is basically the definition of a jack of all trades. This man is a writer, director, actor, singer, and wait for it, a former practicing attorney. He's the creator and star of the hit series Danny Will Die Alone, which dropped its third and final season on February 12th. We're talking about the one and only Jack Tracy. Welcome, Jack.
Thanks for having me.
We are so excited. And what a show, Danny Will Die Alone. I feel like it's the show that nobody was asking for that everybody needed.
I often create things no one's asking for.
Well, welcome to our world.
Right.
Now, Jack, we have been diving into your world, Danny Will Die Alone, and it's known for being this unapologetically queer, somewhat vulgar, and just, let's get honest, real. And this newest season, we're big fans of season 1 and 2, but in this new season 3, you are tackling OnlyFans culture, sex parties, and dating divorcees, something I can attest to. Are you
Okay.
trying to make us blush, or are you just trying to make sure we never want to go on a date in New York City again? Because it just captures reality so well.
That's really the point, is to capture reality. Like, I'm tired of these shows, be they straight, gay, whatever it is, that just romanticize the dating scene as if, "Whoa, is it gonna be this guy I had a great date with or this guy I had a great date with? I can't choose." It's like, that's not how it fucking is. Mostly you go on just bland date after bland date after bland date, then have a horrible one, then have maybe a great one. So, um, a lot of this is just I want people to just see how it really is, and that's the feedback that I get from fans. They write to me. They're like, "Oh my god, that happened to me, and that happened to me, and I can't believe that happened to you too." And that's what's fun about it.
Like ordering a glass of milk at dinner. I think Brian has experienced something like that before.
That happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It did happen. I That was one of my favorite moments.
Okay. Okay.
I have to tell you because when I first watched it, and people have to watch the episode, but people ordering milk on a date is questionable. And I hooked up with a guy a couple of times in my 20s. Then we went on an actual date because you got to test drive the car before you actually buy a meal. And
Sympathize. Yeah.
and I'm ordering like my salad, white wine because it's a first date and keep it simple. He orders a blue cheeseburger and a Bloody Mary on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. That's I could see that as like a Sunday brunch,
Per
maybe.
Yeah, and I ordered first, so he didn't even read my room.
yeah.
No, the guy that this is based off of, it was lunch, and he ordered the lobster ravioli and a tall glass of whole milk.
The whole
Someone's not
milk too.
someone's not lactose intolerant.
It's funny because there are these moments that I'm on dates where always start like on the date, and then it'll turn into this moment where it's like, okay, in my mind the date is now over, and now I'm recording everything that's going on here because this is going to be content.
Straight up.
It kind of writes itself. I dated throughout my entire 20s and most of my early 30s in New York City, and it is true, the shit gets real.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, you did a great job with the show. And
thank you.
Danny, you've said before that Danny is basically your most extreme jaded self turned up to 11.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
kind of after 3 seasons of playing this anti-hero of gay dating, do you find yourself becoming more like Danny, or has playing him been a form of therapy that makes you less jaded in real life?
I think I don't think I'm very. I mean, we all have our moments, and that's between me and my therapist as to when I'm jaded with dating. But for me, it's Danny will pursue things longer than he should. Like, he should trust his gut from the beginning that, like, no, this isn't good, move on. But where's the comedy in that? He's got to date this guy for a little while and ride the thing to the end. Me,
Literally.
literally, me, I'm no longer in that. I've had those periods of time, but I'm no longer in that period of time of like, well, I at least want to fuck him. Like, I've had enough sex. It's now just, it works or it doesn't. Like, I don't need to draw this on just so I can have, a couple fucks. Like, I just don't do that anymore. So I'm much more sort of like, oh, this isn't going to work. Let's move on. Don't need to chase this down. Yeah.
It's funny, the more dates you go on, the more you know. I spent a lot of my 20s and 30s dating in San Francisco and then, got into a relationship that ran its course, and then I ended up sort of on the other side of that, dating again in my 40s, which
Mhm.
is why I felt your show was just so, relevant and relatable. So thank you for even creating that content, honestly.
Of course.
Yeah.
I can't tell if things are different because we're in 2026 or if it's because I'm in my 40s or if it's a combination of both of those things, but dating is very different now than when I was doing it pre-pandemic. Very different. Yeah.
How so? Because the apps existed, right?
The apps existed. Well, one, there was this great article about the apps on how they have actually changed, how
Mm.
they now algorithmically hide the people that would actually be the best matches for you until you pay the higher tiers. Like they
Oh.
really space it out to like incentivize you to pay. So it was this article, I don't know if it's New York Times or Washington Post or something, where it's like the apps are bad, it's not just you. And they did like the full, of how they changed. So that's different. Feel like it's harder to get people to to meet, to like get off the conversation, have the conversation and then meet in real life. I feel people just aren't used to having real life conversations anymore. I always say like, I'm not a dentist. I'm not here to pull teeth. Like you got to ask me a question. You got to ask me a question. You got to care about something, which is very difficult. And yeah, and I feel like there's a lot less intentional dating. I've often been criticized of being too like regimented. Like I go on a date and I'm like, look, I need to know A, B, C, and D. And then other than that, what's the chemistry? How do we feel? I am on a mission to find a partner where I feel like most people I go on dates with, they're like, I'm just meeting people and the universe will provide. And it's like, "Nuh-uh, this takes work. Do some work.
I
Anyway,
really yeah, well, it definitely takes work. Go find a therapist, right? I love that you mentioned that early on. But it's really interesting that you mentioned the part about like I am here to meet a partner. It's sort of like, well, what are you here for? Because if you wanted to go straight to the fuck, like we could have, but like, why did we plan this dinner and then you're just gonna sit there and then make me be like you said, the dentist, right? So
yeah. Yeah.
um
If you wanted to fuck, I wouldn't have ordered this blue cheeseburger.
yeah.
Like, come
And the Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
on.
Cancel my milk, thank you. Um
That's the name of this episode. This
Can
episode should be called Cancel the Milk.
this is absolutely gonna be called "Cancel the Milk." I love that. I mean, it's clear that you've succeeded in this new role of artist director that you've been really, like, putting work behind, but I wanna talk about that lawyer to artist pipeline, right? Because you were first at a big firm,
Okay.
you kind of living that buttoned up day by day and living your truth at night, but in season 3, what I find interesting is that Danny explores this OnlyFan culture, which is super prevalent, right? My question to you is, do you think that the modern integrated, queer life where we can now be like professionals and sexual beings openly, do you think that that's getting easier or are, like we were just talking about, are the apps just making it more complicated?
Oh, well, it depends what's being made easier. Like certainly the OnlyFans thing shocks me because I'll go on dates with bankers and lawyers and people in these professions who like wear a baseball cap and a mask and they're doing foot stuff on OnlyFans for extra income. And it's like, oh wow, we're really here now.
Yeah.
Like this is never expected this. Um, so I feel like people feel more free to express themselves in that way, which is great. I have no judgment for that. But I do think I guess I'm just a little more traditional. Like I don't know if I could date someone whose side hobby is no loads refused. Like I don't know if that's my romantic person. I've honestly not come in contact with that too much. Just here and there. But yeah, but modern day relationships are different. A lot of them are more open or poly based and sure, live your life.
I have a follow-up because I was talking about recently, how relationships have sort of changed, and especially in the gay community, and that conversation was around, not having relationships not being able to be out and gay in a other generation has like disallowed us to see modeling out, and so in the output of that now is like we could do whatever we want. So now we're like modeling in these open relationship models, and like you were saying, poly or monogamous. So it's interesting to me, like in 2026, where the gay dating scene has sort of ended up.
Well, I there's definitely a lot more, married people, poly people, open people on the apps, which gets frustrating, especially if you don't like pay because your swipes get used up on all of these people that it's like, no, no, no. Can you all go somewhere else? Can you all fuck each other? Like, can you go to your own app where you can trade each other? Like swingers, have a swinger app.
There
Like,
we
go
go.
do that. Because I'm looking for a single person. So that gets annoying. But that hasn't impacted my life as much as the people who are looking for a monogamous relationship who just don't put effort. Like there's a serious lack of effort
Mm.
because I think people are so and again, no judgment. I've been in this place myself, but people are so afraid of rejection that it's almost better to not try so that you can blame the failing on not trying than try and fail. So people just aren't trying. They're waiting for something to literally drop into their lap. Um, which that's been more than the openness, more than the poly. I think people are just very much on their own these days and yeah, are happy by themselves.
Listen, if you can't be with yourself, you know?
Right, and I am very and that's the thing that's changed for me a lot too, is that I have a great life and I'm very happy, to the point where, like, I'll go on dates and it's not working out, but they're nice, like, "Do you wanna be friends?" And it's like, "My life's full." Like,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
full.
good.
Like, no
I'm good.
offense, but, like, I don't need another friend. Um, so for me to change my life in a substantial way, to let someone in romantically, like, they gotta be hitting it out of the park.
Amen. Gotta check a lot
Yeah,
of boxes.
yeah.
A couple of other ways that I felt seen by your show was first, there was a point where you commented that all Bryans are gay. Love that.
I literally knew a Brian and Brian couple. Like, yeah, all Brians are gay.
There's a lot of us, and we all speak the
Well, and
same
Danny's
language.
sex machine has made Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, uh-huh.
The other thing I really liked about the show, and what you created was obviously our culture is very centered on abs and perfection, and I love that the people in the show and the bodies and was portraying realistic, right? Not everyone had to have the best body to still be sexy, right? Everyone was still very sexy, very good looking, but no one was sporting that six pack, I eat only protein all day kind of body. So was that intentional?
Yes, I wanted if the show was going to be about real life, the warts and all, the actual portrayals of what it is to date, then you had to show the real people that you're going on dates with. Like, these are the people, you know? Um, I have as being the creator, writer, director, and actor, I also have this real, uh, uh, preoccupation with making sure that I don't do a Lena Dunham, where I make a show for myself and then make myself have sex with, like, super hot people. Because it's like, I don't want people to look at me and be like, "Really, girl? Like, you and Paul Wilson? Really? Really?
In what world? Right.
In what universe?" And
Right.
Yeah.
the fear that someone might watch my show and go, "Jack, in what universe?"
Yeah.
keeps me from doing things like that.
That's hysterical.
Thank you for sharing that. It was something that I noticed and I really appreciated it. Okay, so we started season 3 with the cliffhanger with Maddie. And without giving away too much for people who are going to watch, the season feels a little more introspective regarding what we kind of value about relationships. We talked about it a little bit, but you once mentioned with like Will and Grace, you first, when, that you could be him. It was a could be him kind of moment, which I think a lot, me and John relate to a lot, and we have talked about because Will and Grace was kind of the only show that we had, I guess, at that time. How do you feel Danny compares as a mirror for the chosen family watching today?
Well, Don't be Danny. Da- Danny is not Danny is an anti-hero. Which actually, when the show came out, I was really surprised by how many people liked Danny and wanted him to find love and find a relationship. Because I was like, I don't think Danny's a good person. Um, but I think I don't know if you're seeing because with Will and Grace, I saw like I could be this guy.
Mhm.
And I became that. I became the gay New York lawyer. Like that was the first representation on television of what my future could look like. This is less aspirational. Oh, I hope my future looks like this. It's more um, commiseration. It's like we're all going through this. It's not just you, which is really the power of art in general, of the art that I try to create, and Danny specifically is the authenticity of it. The fans, when they reach out and I get these letters and I get these messages, and it's just oh God, thank God it's not just me. And that's the power of it.
Mhm.
So if anything, the family, the societal good that Danny is providing is just a reassurance that like you're not alone. We're all dealing with this stuff. Let's sit around and commiserate about this stuff together.
It's so true, and I love that you highlight the "Don't be Danny" and then how everybody sort of related with Danny because we all have a little Danny in us, and if we haven't, then you should go try because it's a lot of fun. No, I'm just kidding. No, we all have that part of ourself, right? The part that, like, sets, like, extreme boundaries or, just doubts ourselves, and so just for me, this felt like if Will had a one-man show off Broadway literally like doing all of like the off-camera shoots. Like this to me was exactly like what the narrative would have been if it wasn't a sitcom made for prime time, right? So I loved that
Right.
about it. It was very human. It was human.
I think we don't always consider the value of, and this is going to sound really artsy fartsy and blah, but like the value of telling your story and how even if it's not something that specifically happened to the other person, how authenticity impacts people. So like they may not have gone through what you're depicting because you're doing something very specific from your life, but they're hit with the authenticity of it and it means something to them. I think we don't put enough value. There's a lot of art that's written to find an audience. Like this is the audience that I want, so I need two super hot hockey players fucking in the locker rooms or whatever. I haven't seen it,
Hey, I've seen it.
or
Oh.
or whatever. Like we need to,
Yeah.
we're trying to find the thirsty white woman audience. We're trying to find this audience. We're going to do this, and I find the bigger shows or the things that hit harder or the most lasting are the ones where it's just like, just tell your fucking story.
Mhm.
The people will see it. They'll recognize the heart of the story if you just tell the story.
Thank you for saying that. It's spot on, and it's the truth, and I think that that's why Danny, will not die alone, will die alone rather, is on season 3. But you're not just a face on screen; you are actually the engine. So you founded the Necessary Outlet Productions,
Mm,
and you've said that no one's coming to your rescue, right?
mm-mm.
And that you are the answer to all your problems. And I think that that's really powerful. It's slightly terrifying as a mantra too. So does that DIY spirit come from your legal background, or is that just the grit of being a gay man in New York?
I think the legal background helps for
Mm.
sure. Like
Yeah.
being both right and left brain, not afraid of a contract. I can work out a business deal. I can work out a distribution agreement. None of that is daunting to me. I think actually when I started working with Deku, they're accustomed to dealing with creators. And when they were dealing with me, also a creator, like that I would send things back with markups.
Yeah.
They were like,
Yeah,
Red
red
line.
line,
sorry,
red
what?
line. Yeah,
Like,
red
yeah,
line, red
no, I'm
line.
going to redline this. Like, I have thoughts. Um, I don't think they were used to dealing with someone like that. But it helps. For me, it's more of I think where it comes from is my childhood. I am the first person in my entire family to go to college. I came from nothing, nothing. We had no money, and everything was if you want something, you got to do it yourself. I remember working at a Circuit City to make money to buy new clothes for the school year because I didn't want to wear my cousin's hand-me-downs, and going to Marshall's and putting things on layaway and paying it off during the summer so I could have fresh clothes in I was just my entire life has been, you gotta fuck if you want what you want, you gotta fucking do it. So with Danny or with just the production company, when I stopped at the law firm and got an easier job that I was able to have time to do stuff like this, it was like, okay, this is the money that I have and this is what I want to do. So I guess I need to learn how to video edit and I need to learn how to sound edit and I need to learn how to color and I need to learn how to work this camera. And then and thank God for, today, which is I can just go on YouTube and watch tutorials and figure this shit out.
I wonder, like, I want to unpack that a little bit too, because John and I are the same camp, right? Like, John and I started a podcast a year ago. We had no fucking idea what we're doing. We don't know about audio. You know how long it took us to figure out microphones? And even then, we still had issues. I wonder, like, is it a gay man thing? Like, what did we go through our childhood where we just don't want to give up because whenever we hit a wall, we just want to climb over it instead of just walking away, you know?
I think, well, you've got I think related to that is you've got like the good boy syndrome. I think they talk about it in the Velvet Rage, but it's that where if I'm the best, then I'm worthy because I
Mm.
felt unworthy for who I am. Like society is telling me I'm unworthy. So I need to strive to be the best. And that makes me worthy. I definitely suffer from that. There's a little bit of that. And I mean, and for any minority group, anybody who's had to persevere or has had to make their own way or carve their own life, you just build those skills naturally by just having to exist like that.
Reach.
Rightly put. The other thing that people, on the same topic is the music. Like, you started making your own music because licensing other people's tracks for your shows was a nightmare. So, you've
Really.
got albums and sexy music videos now. So,
I'm sexy.
if you had to pick one song of yours to be the theme song for our chosen fam's dating life right now, what would it be?
Theme song for dating life. Well, the theme song for the first season of Danny was my song None Tonight. And it was about like someone that you went on a date with that things fizzled out, suddenly coming back 3 months later with the hey, what's up? That I think that's a good theme for
Mhm.
Danny. Um, um, what's the lyrics of that? See, I recognize how you weaponize those puppy dog eyes. You didn't treat me right, but I realize there are plenty of other guys, so you get none tonight.
It's a bop.
I think that's the song for Danny. Yeah. But to shamelessly plug, since you brought it up, my
Yeah.
brand new album, Glorify, which is 21 tracks of sex music, comes out on March 20th. So check that out.
That's amazing and something that I need in my life. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I love music and sex at the same time. It's one of my favorite things. Well, listen, you are just like we started off the episode with, you are literally the jack of all trades. And are just curious to see how much more we can get out of you and how you really think. So, we play a little game on the podcast called This or That. But since we're celebrating in the end of an era, we're calling this one This or That Dying Alone, but not really edition. It's time for another round of This or That, the unhinged get to know you game. So,
Okay.
are you ready?
Yeah, let's do
Alright,
it.
let's do it. Kicking right off, scruff or smooth?
Scruff.
Mm,
Yeah,
and you
most of
can
the men in the
elaborate.
show are hairy.
Mhm.
Most of the men in the show are hairy, smooth, especially like if you're naturally smooth, that's also fine. Like I'm not going to turn you away, but like don't shave the chest and especially don't shave down there. Every now and then you get one of those. It's like this feels illegal.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
it feels young.
yeah, no, 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 no.
Okay, we watched the show, so let's see how much Jack is like Danny. If you're playing a baseball game, are you pitching or catching?
Oh, okay. So I'm catching. However, once, as stated in the show, on the harvest moon,
Mm.
he will pitch.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Well-rounded.
a pinch hitter, if you will.
Yes,
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 if called to base. I like it. Are you on Hinge or Grinder?
both. I'm more on Hinge. I no longer have anonymous or NSA sex. That's just a personal choice for my life these days. If I'm having sex, it's with someone I've had a relationship with for a long time or is part of my dating. Every time that I would just meet somebody off a grinder, they come over. It's just like, this is just a waste of time. Like, what am I doing? I should have just jerked off and read a book. Like,
Honestly, same.
yeah.
Mhm.
You're an emotional guy. You need somewhat of a connection. I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This question somehow gets very polarizing answers. Are you a shower or bath guy?
So, I mean, I do both, but I'm a huge bath guy. I take a bath 3, 4 times a week and like bath salts, candles, and then I put my phone on the tripod that it's on right now and like watch YouTube or watch a movie. Like, yeah, bath.
You're in for the long haul.
Yes.
And my mom hated baths. She said what it's people soup.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
visceral reaction we get.
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
We're bath people.
And then what I'll do is when I'm done, I'll stand up and then shower
I
off.
rinse.
I
Yes.
rinse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, everybody grow up. You have both. Chest guy or butt guy?
Hmm. I'm going to go chest guy, but I do like there is something about reaching around and holding on to something while he's drilling you into oblivion.
A nice
Um,
derriere.
yeah, but no, I would go chest probably. Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit, but this is more for you. Open relationship or monogamy?
I'm monogamy. The whenever I get into a relationship with someone and we have that conversation, because I think it is you can't just assume you have to have that conversation. And I say I am a monogamous person with two exceptions. Exception one: if there is something in your sexual life that is extremely important to you that I just cannot do, it's not for me. Because I'll try most anything, but if there's something and you really need it, let's create a one Friday a month, you have a friend that you go do that thing. Fine. I'm not going to tell you to never do that again to be with me. So there's that as the carve out, or potentially if we're doing something on an adventure together where it's something we want to explore as a couple and it enhances our relationship. But I was in an open relationship years ago where there was a moment where we're both sitting on the couch on opposite ends watching The Good Wife, both on our grinders, finding our next hookup. And I just had this moment of like, oh, I don't want this. This is
No.
not, no, no,
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
So healthy, so realized, so appreciated, well said. Now we know, that there are 2 different types of gays in New York. Well, there are many types of gays in New York, but particularly the Hell's Kitchen or the Chelsea gay. Where are we going?
Are there Chelsea gays anymore?
I don't
I
know,
thought
did they
they
all
Uh,
move
moved
out?
out.
I
They're in
work in
Maple
Chelsea and they're still around, but they're usually, picking garbage up.
I
yeah,
guess I've
shade.
I guess I've aged into the Chelsea gay. Every time I
Yes,
go to Hell's Kitchen and I go to one of the bar, which is very rare because I don't drink very much anymore, but like I'll go to a Hell's Kitchen bar and be like, "Oh, I can't
I
believe I lived here
know.
for 10 years." Like, that was a period in my life that is over. Probably more Chelsea.
Yeah, I did Hell's Kitchen for about a year. Most of my time was in Chelsea when I was in the city.
I was there for like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, we probably were at the same club every so often.
I bet
Yes.
you.
Okay, OnlyFans. Are you a creator or a subscriber?
I am a creator. I have an OnlyFans. That's where Danny started. I don't do pornography, and again, that is no judgment on anybody who does. Live your life. But there came a point where I was making all these music videos and my other web series History and my movie Snowflake and the idea of just throwing these things up on YouTube and being like, "Well, here you go." I was like, I would rather have 10 people pay me $5 a month to watch it than just throw it out for free, considering how much work I do with it. So that's what I do. So anything that's not distributed through Deku or has another platform, it's just for the fans. It's content for them, and it's on the OnlyFans.
I love it, and by way of the show, you look like you take care of your body, and it's nice to look at, so good on you. Are you an early bird or are you a night owl?
Early bird now,
Yeah.
especially because just off camera, little Max, who wants all my attention right now, he wakes me up. He wants fed and walked.
Hello, Max.
I know, the morning walks.
Puppy.
Okay, last one. Obviously in the show we don't see too much of this, but are you wearing boxers or briefs?
Ooh.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I will wear briefs for like a work kind of thing because it's like my boss doesn't need to see my VPL. But yeah, other than that, I don't wear anything. It makes me feel sexy.
I love that. Jack, thank you for literally letting it all hang out with us today, and thank you for being
It is.
so open
Yeah.
and creating yeah. We can't see below the fold here, so whatever you got going on down there, good on you and Max, but, thank you for creating stories that actually look like our lives. Danny Will Die Alone season 3 is now available, streaming on Deku. Go watch it, Chosen fam.
Jack, where can our fans follow you and find you?
Everything is through my Instagram at Jack Tracy Official, and that's Tracy, no E. Jack Tracy Official. And you'll find, last plug, I am crowdfunding for my next project. It's a big, gay, queer, political Christmas movie called The Naughty List. Follow me for more info.
Well, if you need two podcasters just to be in the background, we are in.
Always need extras. Come on over.
We make great
Amazing.
extras.
Yeah. We love that you are now a part of our chosen fam.
Thank you.
Stay authentic, stay loud, and keep laughing. Bye.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.